black paper. I did a little test with the black paper to see how my colored pencils will work on it. It seems like they'll work pretty good. So what I've done here is just kind of swatched them out, and then I have the different ones here. So like this is the top line, and they're pretty much in something like the order, so I can see where they are. And then I also did the other set, which is these guys, and they're the bottom line. So I can choose like which color I think looks best. I'm really surprised the white looks really good, and the black covers up other stuff really well. So the greens are basically the same. The oranges, like this orange is better, but then the reds, although this red is deeper, this red I think is more pops more. So I did a mouse in space a couple of days ago. Who knows? Maybe it was like a week ago on one of the streams, and I was thinking like, what's a mouse alien look like? Like we have the grays, and so I don't know how well you guys can see the sketch. So I'm going to kind of zoom in and see if you guys can see the sketch. And then I guess since it might be hard, let's just get started. Oh, hey Ranch, welcome. Yeah, the alien, the mouse in space. So I thought maybe we'd do like an alien mouse. You know, alien to a mouse inspired. You know, I don't know, like human. We have like the grays and the other one. I thought like in the fictional world of the space mouse, like what does their alien look like? Oh, thanks, Plorb. Welcome, welcome. Okay, you guys can see this. This is popping up. Yeah, okay. I thought we would do for the eyes. I thought we would do like just big and black. So I'll like try to leave the paper there. And I don't know what to do for the mouth. I don't think I want it to be like normal. Maybe like, I don't know. I like feel like sometimes aliens don't have mouths because that looks really alien to us. Let's make the shadows on the left side. So kind of come in here with this and just give it a little brightness, a little color. I'm just going to color this one as I go. It's unusual. I usually don't, so I can make a lot of changes and stuff. Hey, Oddfud. But I thought today, because it's on the black paper, it might be kind of hard to see what's going on, so I might as well. I'm feeling like hype today, not necessarily in a good way, but I don't know what's going on. No, nothing's bad. I had a good day. I've had some really successful streams on days where I felt really like strange and hype, so here's hoping it's one of those. Hey, possible monster lover, welcome back. Let's use, so the black really does work. You can like correct mistakes, so it's definitely something to look out for. Oh no. I wonder why. Oh, this is the. Okay. I've had this happen um, on my own thing. Like when I go to pull up my own stream, and it'll be like it won't be like from a different account or from my moderator's account. I'll hear that it doesn't pull up. Like it won't show in the live notification area, just like you said in the subscribes area. So I think that's just kind of sometimes that happens to YouTube. Oh, awesome. I appreciate that. Okay. Like, let's just do like a crazy mouth, like something genuinely alien. Like, it doesn't make any sense to us. It's not as alien as I would have hoped, but I think that works. So I got black paper to do illustrations on like years ago because I was like, I love Batman the Animated Series. And if you know, they do a lot of their backgrounds on the original one, they did on black paper to like give it that atmospheric Gotham, gothic noir look. And I think they nailed it. And so I was like, it'll be really good to do that. But then I never did. I was always so afraid of using. I get afraid of using up my materials. I don't think this is uncommon. It's just. Okay, I'm going to draw a mouse body. So I don't know if this guy uses like a spacesuit. I was thinking no. Maybe he uses a respirator, and this is actually part of that. Okay. Let me see. Can you guys see the pencil? Yeah, I think you can, right? Don't have enough watch hours to accept gifts. So I need 3,000 watch hours in the last year. And I just started streaming a couple of months ago, and that's where I get most of my watch hours from. And so basically, I need to be a little bit more. I need a little bit more stuff to get gifts on. But yeah, I am approaching it slowly but surely. I only got the required number of subscribers like a month or two ago. And so you can also the number of shorts you need is crazy. So like shorts, I'm gonna do like this will be the butt part of the alien, and I say let's give him a tail and we'll make it a tentacle. I think alien tentacle tail is pretty interesting. Like a prehensile tail. Prehensile just means it can grab things. Okay. Oh, thank you, Oddfud. Thank you. Okay. Now I'm trying to think. I want like alien legs. So I'm tempted to just do like regular mouse legs, but I don't think that's good. So let's do maybe he has okay. I figured out something. I'm gonna do kind of like spider legs. Can you guys see this? We'll have like little spider hairs. I like that. This one, yeah. Okay. And then I think like that's going to be spacesuit, this part. So we can, because that's going to connect to his mouth and give him that respirator. Oh yeah, he does look like a bull from the head. That's true. Good eye. Hey, let's go. Let's go okay. Okay. Oh, I like this like yellowy green. I usually use this just for plant stuff, but this feels like very alien-y. Okay. So I'm just kind of doing it as if the light is going from here, and I'm doing the color where I would put the light because it just helps me see where the light is. And then like I can in theory, use the black as shadow. I'm not sure if that's actually what I'm going to do, but it's an idea. But yeah, doing this light area will help me see like where the shapes are. Okay. How does this one? It would get kind of like that. And we can do other colors in there. I think that will look good. Okay, so I have like 2 sets of colored pencils. And before I started, I did this like test to see which ones look good in which areas. So I should use that. So this green comes out similar in color to this, but slightly more intense. Okay, so that's kind of it's such a different color on white paper, but on this it's like practically the same. So, okay, no need for that, or at least not right now. We'll use it to do like extra light. And then this one is just like darker. Okay. I wasn't sure what to do with this arm, but I think this will be the arm socket. Okay. And then the back legs. All right, let's start adding in color the rest of it. Okay, so for the body, I'm just gonna kind of up. Man, I used to think about aliens all the time. Science fiction is one of my favorite book genres to read and television to take in. It's funny, I was thinking like this guy is to a mouse as like a Star Trek alien is to a human. Like they're like, well, we needed to get a human actor to play it, so it can't be that far off of an actual person. And I think I think about how much that affects like how we think about aliens. Because I think it probably affects us a ton if most of the media we take in about aliens is video or visual or video, I guess, then they must be played by humans. And so then they are inevitably like bipeds. They have 2 feet. There's some exceptions to this, like in Alien, what's his name? Dave Jones? What is his name? All right. I'm going to give this some suction cups. I'm just going to sketch them in with plain pencil to see where I want them. I like it like twisting around. So I think I will keep that up. Okay, so I don't know if it comes up, it twists around, it goes behind, and then it comes up again and ends up here. Okay, let me make this pencil nice and sharp, and I'll get some of the edges of that. Gosh, I read a math paper because I'm a nerd, and they were talking. Oh my gosh, my pencil's broken. And they were talking about how much pencil lead gets thrown away by sharpening as a percentage of all the pencil lead you use. And they're saying it's like 90%. It's so much. Okay. It broke right away again, but not to the full extent like the last time. Okay. And then let's do these tentacles and the underside of the tentacle, these suction cups and the underside of the tentacle. Let's do it in like a different color. At least we'll try. I think like a purple would look good. Yeah, this purple looks pretty nice. Oh, you too. Yeah, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Interesting. Okay, so this purple is nice. It's a little dark, but I think what we can do then is use this to kind of be the floor of that underneath the suction cups. Now, will it color over the green? Because I did put green in spaces that I didn't think were going to be this. I think it colors over the green fine, so that's actually really lucky. Okay, nice. Yeah, so when I started getting into illustration, it was at the insistence and the uh, assistance of my wife. And she was like interviewing me and trying to figure out like what I wanted to do and like um, what would make me feel good about doing that. And it was illustration. And she knew I loved Batman the Animated Series, and she did some research, and she found out that the fact about how the backgrounds are done on black paper. And so she bought me some black paper and some white chalk and was like, here you go. You can like do some exploring on that and figure that out. And then I was so nervous about ruining the paper that I just never did it. This is some of that black paper right here. This is years ago. And this is my first time using it. So I feel much more confident now as an illustrator than I ever did before. So that's part of it. So this pencil I really like on white because it makes white look like off-white because that's what it is. But when you're drawing on white paper, it can be nice because it like even though it's not super noticeable, it gives you a little bit of difference between it and the background. But it's really useful here. Oh, you know what, too? We haven't used any yellow. Ooh, one of my yellows is missing. We have this yellow, though. Thank you, Mr. Rob Pop 42. Hello. Just a little yellow in where this light is catching. Okay. And then I was thinking either black or let's use a brown. Ooh, yeah, I'll do whiskers. Sounds good. I'm going to do a brown to kind of create some shadows in the... I'll probably use black also. Some shadows in this like space helping collar. Just as a way to give it a little bit more shape. Okay, and some black also. Oh, yeah. Okay, that feels like it's a thing. And then let's do this like respirator dealio pipe he's got going on. All right. Whiskers. I wonder, like, what if it's like really similar to just cat? So they're like kind of like transparent and long. Okay. Let's do some of the white on the tentacle tail, tail tickle, tail tickle. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm not thrilled with the suction cups. I don't think they really look right. So I'm just going to go in with orange and see how that goes, see how that feels. I think it feels better. Let's switch to red. And then the white's still there to kind of offer some dimensionality, some shape to it. But I think I went too far with the white on these ones. I should have waited to do the white. Man, that orange is intense also. Okay. I think it works out. I think you can still see what it is. And I shouldn't be too harsh on myself. This is my first drawing on black paper, maybe ever. Ooh, an alien penguin? Yeah, we're gonna finish this guy up, so maybe we will do an alien penguin. Where's my... Here we go. Alien penguin. And then we'll call it just whatever. We'll take one of the pronunciations from Bunderdutch Sputterback, and we'll have him name it Penguin. Pyunguang. What orange is this? Okay, this orange is kind of duller. I should have used this one. That's okay. We can use this here. I think we gotta get some more detail on these legs. Kind of have them exist more. I think it's something that I've really enjoyed now, and I think it's something I've always enjoyed about doing illustration, even when, or doing drawing at all, even when I was like, quote unquote, bad at it, is the creating of the thing, right? Like, now that we're actually making these legs, we're doing this extra color, more definition, more like rendering of the legs. It's like bringing them into existence. And I think that that's something it's just something I really enjoy about drawing, because like we used to play games in school where we would do drawings and then the other person would do a drawing and then you'd do a drawing and it just build and build on the same piece of paper. And in doing that, you end up telling these stories and you're going back and forth and you're creating like a living game slash story. And I really like that because, you know, it's the same idea. You're inventing something. It's like a whole universe. Even if your drawing is just one character, or even if it's not a character, if it's like a real life animal, for instance. Okay. I want to work on the ventilator. I'm just going to give it like a little bit of a pipe shape because I think that'll help explain visually what it's doing and why it's there. I did a bad job. That's okay. Because if it kind of looks like a snorkel, then people will be like, oh, I get it. That's how he breathes. But if it just looks like a bunch of random shapes, then people are not going to get it. But here, I think we can kind of make it look like a couple of pipes. Maybe even have a little smoke or something coming out of there. Water vapor or whatever he breathes vapor. Oh, we'll use like this blue as part of the smoke. Make it a little nebulous. Okay. Yeah, I like this ventilator thing a lot better now. Okay. So I think we got to do the arms. I've been avoiding them because I don't want to do them. But I think it's time. I'm sharpening the pencil. So let's sketch them out. I don't want to do regular mouse arms. I mean, that's what I'm tempted to do. But I think we have these tight sort of buggy legs down here. So I think let's do something a little bit inspired by that. So I used to make dinosaur arms a lot, not drawing. Like I personally used to stand around with what I call dinosaur arms, and it's just where your arms look like you're a T-Rex and you're just kind of like. So I'm inspired by that, but I also want to do some of the bug kind of thing, so maybe sort of like praying mantis arms. Ooh, one quote for aspiring artists, what would it be? This is a good question. Let me think. I think, hmm. So let me what's it called? Kind of brainstorm a minute. So one thing that's really important is that took me a long time to learn. And so maybe I wish somebody would have. No, I think people did tell me this, but I didn't listen. Is like you don't know what people like. Right? If you're trying to sell your work, which I think if you're aspiring, that's probably what you're trying to do. You don't know what people like. And so I spent a long time working to perfect a style that I thought people liked. And one day I was lazy and I just showed somebody something in the style like, okay, so I would do all this work and then I would change it into a style that I thought was what people wanted to see. And one day I was lazy and I didn't finish the changing to the new style, and I just kind of showed them the work in progress, the sketch. And they were like, "Oh my God, this is one of the best things you've done." Like, "Oh wow, this is great. Yeah, I love this." And I was like, "Oh, it's not done yet. It'll still I still have all this stuff to do." And they're like, "No, like this is great. You've really done a good job." And they preferred what I had always considered to be like the work in progress stage of my art. And so I started asking a lot of other people, and they also preferred that. And so I had been trying to guess what people wanted. And because of that, I was doing a worse job. And so I think, like, if that's the lesson I'm trying to convey, which is a good lesson, I think, I would say, like, hey, Brandon, Brianna, sorry. Hey, Brianna. Welcome back. Oh, I think you've been here before. I remember you. Oh, and Cade's for the Swans. So it might be just that, like, you don't know as much as you know what's like technically good, you don't know what people want. You can't, hmm. And then the other thing I would say is like practice, 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 practice. Like, I don't know how to say it about practice, but like you're, hmm. Yeah, something like that. Like, one thing that I find inspiring that another artist said to me was, it's really good when you see when you see a piece of your art and you think it's bad, because that means you're getting better. And if you saw all your art and you thought it looked great and nothing was bad about it and you didn't need any changes, then you wouldn't be able to become a better artist, because you need to see where you've done bad so you can decide to do better. And I thought that was really nice. So when you see art that you think is bad and old and you're like, ah, I could do so much better now. It's like, yeah, that's great. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. And I think the combination of those two things is pretty, like, you don't know what people are going to like. You don't know what people want. And like, instead of guessing, just put out a bunch of art and see what sticks. And then when you see old art and you think it's bad, that's a good thing, because that means you've gotten better or you have the ability to get better. Something that I've been working on for my own idea is, um, I need to do stuff I'm bad at specifically, because that's how I'm going to get better, is by being bad at stuff and going and practicing over and over. Should we give this guy, I don't know, he already has that, so we shouldn't give him like a helmet. I think his arms are a little off, but I don't mind that. Like, we don't know what his arms are like. I think it's time to move on. I think this guy was great. The only thing I might do before we go is give him some decoration. Where's this? Not the orange. We can use this brown, I think, and just give him some, like, some texture, some spots. No, where's that on my list? This is done. Ah, it got moved to the side. I was like, why didn't I see that? Okay. I put it back up. I don't know what happened. I didn't finish it, but I did start watching Real Steel, which was also on my post-it list yesterday. So I do the things on the post-its eventually. Okay. You guys ever do fake freckles on the face to look cute? I'm going to do a little purple, I think, around these browns. I think purple brown is like a really good alien color. I like it. You can barely see it, but I think it adds a lot of depth. Like, to me, the brown feels like weird and fake, like those fake freckles. But when I add the brown, it looks really good. I like it. I mean, the purple, it looks really good. I like it. Okay. I guess we got to do alien penguin. I feel like I'm going to use some of this purple, actually. I've just tried it out. I like it a lot for some of these shadows. Do that. Yeah, it looks really, I think we've been, or at least like conditioned to like purple and green together because of like superhero villains. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Monster Lover. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I did not know that people found freckles, like people didn't like freckles. I thought everyone liked freckles. I thought they were cool. I get freckles if I spend a lot of time in the sun. I get a lot of freckles, but I don't spend a lot of time in the sun anymore. But I used to a lot when I was a kid. I was much more blonde when I was a kid. My father's a redhead, and so I wasn't a redhead, but I was freckly, and I had a lot of his influence. I also have these, my Craypaws. I haven't used these yet. What? I must have used them at least once because there's stuff in here. I did not remember using them. They don't look used at all. But these should also work on the black paper. So if I think of something, this could be fun. And I always thought, like, cool, freckles in the summertime. It's like neat. But I found out recently that people get really judgy about freckles. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I like to stream on holidays, but I might skip tomorrow and push it to Sunday just so I can uh, do Valentine's Day proper and hang out with my Valentine. But yeah, what's the next stream? What's Sunday's stream? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I guess there's a lot of okay, so this was number one. Oh, so now we're gonna do Alien Penguin. This is a different black paper. It's a little bit bluer. But I got this from Michael's. It was on clearance for like a few dollars. And I feel like other time I go for black paper, it's so expensive. Okay. Alien Penguin is going to be interesting. Yeah, so when I drew... Yeah, so my father covered in freckles. My sister covered in freckles. I had no idea people were like against them. But then I was like looking into it because somebody was saying like how terrible it was to have freckles in school. And I learned that like people get bullied for it and stuff. That's miserable. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay. What does a penguin look like? I drew some South African penguins or Southern African penguins. I'm not sure. Yesterday or 2 days ago. Let's just do a quick penguin sketch so we can get an idea of what they look like. Yeah, so would these be animals that fill the same ecological niche as penguins? Nah, they're going to be animals that remind us of penguins, but might fill a different ecological niche. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great, Monster. It's so good to not be sick. Like being sick is miserable. Okay, so I'm thinking let's do like a beak. Like we know penguins have beaks, but let's do like there's a couple of animals that have metal, like their either their teeth or their shell or something is made of metal. Let's do like this like kind of drill shaped metal beak. If we're gonna go alien, let's go. Oh, kind of like a narwhal horn. Yeah. And I assume they drill into the ice with this somehow. Somehow it helps them get into ice. Okay. I think we had gigantic eyes for the last one. So this will be the front, so this will be the one eye. Let's do. I wasn't going to do antenna for this one, so let's instead do eyes that are up coming out of the top of the head. Like, let's go. If we're going to go alien, let's go alien. Every time I draw eyes on stalks like this, it makes me think of Real Monsters. There's a character, I think his name is Crumb, and he holds his eyes with his hands. I think like that would be cool, but it would also suck. And there was a video game, I can't remember on what system, probably Sega. It feels like a Sega game, where Genesis or Master System, depending on what country you're in, where you like through his eyes in order to see things far away. You know, because he could still see. They were like Wi-Fi's. Okay. So that's an interesting penguin head. We might have to readjust this metal beak, but that's okay. That's why we sketch first. Okay. I kind of want to do just like really long wings. Let's have them be really long and touching the ground. And let's put this one, instead of floating in space, let's put them on like an asteroid or something. These are asteroid penguins. Okay. We'll deal with the texture of the asteroid in a minute. But let's get this guy on the ground. Well, for feet, we'll do like kind of, instead of those flat, like we'll do grippy naily feet, because they want to stick to the asteroid. And maybe they still kind of like waddle around. So there's a lot of ice and stuff on asteroids. So maybe this is a little bit more penguin-y than we would think. Instead of swimming, they like jump through space or something, through the, like where there's a, like off the gravity of the asteroid. I could see this being a thing. Okay, so we can't see. We'll see this one clipping in on the back, but this one, that'll be hidden behind it. And then for the wings, we'll have them sort of be like too long. And I do not know why they are too long. Science hasn't figured that out yet. Okay. So now it's just the beak, because I kind of, is that the center? Okay. I'm trying to figure out like which direction is this beak really facing? Okay, I think that feels right. All right. Let's get some color in here. Yeah, yeah. Oops, I dropped my eye. Exactly. Like, and then it'd always be dirty. You'd be like cleaning it off. So Crumb is like, it's supposed to be a gross monster, so he just like sticks it in his mouth and like and cleans it off. Like, and I hear people with a glass eye, they do the same thing, but that's not for me. I don't know. I have an obsessive disorder, and so I'm OCD, and so that's a little much. I don't think I'd be able to handle that. Okay, I'm gonna do this off-white for the eyes, a little bit of catching the light there. Gonna do a little bit on the claws. Okay, let's switch to white. So I guess, should we make this guy like black and white also? Maybe not. It'll be hard to convey. Yeah, so I was trying to get at that a little bit also when I was saying before. Like, when you fall into this trap, when you're doing things that you think people want, right? You fall into this trap where your art gets worse because you're no longer being authentic. And people, most of the time, people can tell. And also, you're not enjoying it anymore. And like, you can definitely do work. I'm not saying like don't do any art that you're not like, don't do any art that's like not a job. Like, but I think it can be dangerous for your psyche. Okay. Oop, I'm holding my breath. So I don't know why I do that. Sometimes I get so scared something's not going to be good or something. I'm going to mess it up that I hold my breath. It's a confusing, I'm not really sure why. I'm trying to stop doing it. Yeah, so I do think also that there are for sure unrealistic expectations throughout like lots of careers, but I feel like artists can especially have it because so many artists that you know, or maybe every artist that you know, is going to be someone famous, right? And then most artists are not famous. Most working artists you've never heard of. And so, like, there's an unrealistic expectation there because, like, that's what you think of when you think of an artist. And it's kind of like also with actors, like, all the famous actors make a lot of money or whatever. So, but a lot of working actors, like, you've never heard of and are like working, like, you know, are not getting paid a ton. I have a story. I knew a guy, I knew him through a family friend. He was somebody I knew, like, as the friend of somebody I work, it doesn't matter, family friend. And I knew him for years. And then I saw that he shared a name with a New York Times, an old New York Times, no, an old cartoonist from who did, what's it called? You know, like political cartoons and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you heard of this cartoonist? Like, he has the same name as you. And he was like, oh no, that's just me. And it was just him. And I had like known this guy, had no idea that this is what he did. And then like he was no longer doing that. He was doing other things for work at the time. So like that was part of it. But I've also had the thing happen where like I met somebody and I knew them for a while and like they were chill or whatever. And then it turned out they were like all they got paid for their whole life by making art. Like that was they were a successful artist and I had just never heard of them. And that's also how it goes. It's like you can be either like a successful artist or somebody who had been successful and then stopped and just not like it's not a permanent thing. Okay, I think we have to choose a color for penguin. I like that we made him fat. I think that's good. Bulbous, I should say. He's not fat. Maybe this is like an air bladder. It's how he lives in space. Okay. For his claws, I'm going to use brown. And like in my mind, they are also the metal of the beak. So we'll use brown and then we'll probably use like a little orange or red to like make it kind of look rusty, look irony. Okay. Maybe I do want to use black and white. I'm not feeling any other color. Hang on. Let me grab my this is the swatches. So like light blue is nice. There's two of those. They look pretty good. And then for dark, we can use like this violet purple. I think that also It looks very similar to black, but we can have some more granular control. Okay, so maybe this purple, maybe this blue. Oh yeah, pink sounds good. Let's see. What does our pinks look like? So that's as bright pink as we get, unless, let's see if we can get a really light pink over the top of the, I think we'll do that. So that'll be something that highlights the white. I was going to use yellow, but I think that, yellow is good because it's the converse. We'll use both. Okay. All right, I'm going to do white on all the outline for now. And then, like, that doesn't always look right, but in this case, it'll just, I think, make him look backlit. Okay. Oh, that would be the underside. Okay. There's a twist. So we're just going to twist this like that. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I like that twist there. And for the underside, we'll use the purple. Oh, holding my breath again. Take a breath. Okay, we'll do just like on a penguin. Let's do the belly as like a lighter color. It's interesting, like on the other paper, I guess the tooth, which is like the texture of the page, was a lot finer. So when I was doing this, you weren't seeing this, like, the texture wasn't as extreme. And that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna get some purple in there. Okay, so I'm kind of not using the sketch much anymore. I'm just kind of going on vibes. But let's make like the face also white. The front of the face also white. Yeah, that looks interesting. Alien penguin, 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 penguin. I said before, we're going to name him just anything Benedict Cumberbatch calls a penguin when he tries to say the word. That'll be this guy's name. Oh, nice. Hey, Adam. Computers are the best. I'm old, and I started building and working on PCs when I was 10 years old. I have always worked and built PCs. I love PCs. I started Photoshop and worked doing digital artist creation when I was like 12 or 13, right when it came out, basically. And I've never stopped. And I think, like, listen, phones are amazing. I'm not trying to say anything bad about phones, but they don't have the same capabilities as computers. And like, the computer is so freaking good. Oh, okay. Awesome. Possible monster. Yeah. I know a lot of people are like weird about the double screen thing. Like, you'll hear people complain, like, what, now Netflix has to make movies, so, like, that's a choice Netflix is making. They don't have to do that. But, like, people being on two screens at once is not that weird. I don't know, maybe I should be, arguing for, like, mindfulness. But I'm a two screen kind of person. I struggle to concentrate. And when I was first drawing, I couldn't like get into the flow. It just was not happening basically ever. And because of that, like I wasn't getting enough practice and I wasn't getting better and I wasn't feeling good about doing art. And all those things were important. And I found that this was art. It was a lot of other things too. So this wasn't a problem just with me doing art. But even playing a video game or something that I was excited to play, I would have trouble focusing. I would be doing other things in my mind instead of playing the game. So I used two screens as a way to like chill. And so I would put on some YouTube that I was like interested in, but it would be totally fine if I didn't watch it really. And then I would start drawing or start playing my video game or whatever it was that I was doing, that I was trying to do. And once I started doing that, I would sort of, it would distract me enough that I would be able to lose myself in the full work. And so I'm a proponent. I think two screens can really be useful and be helpful. Okay. I'm sort of just doing like rocks and stuff with the some craters. I think craters are interesting. It took me a long time to feel good about craters and drawing them. So you have like the one side it's catching the light that's like on the outside of the crater. You have all the like the lifted up rocks and a ledge. But then that same thing is also catching the light on the opposite inside of the crater. And that took me so long to like really get. I think I'm gonna use I'm gonna use orange. That's cratery. It's cratery enough. We'll come back and we'll do a better shadow than just like orange shadow. Okay. I'm trying to think if this white, if we should mix it with, here, let's check on the back. Like if we have this white, what happens if we mix it with this peach? And then peach by itself? Okay, okay. I think let's go just more white. LED lights are weird. They're good. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're strange compared to the other ones. The other ones are, they give continuous light because it's based on heat and they can't cool down enough in between the cycles of the electricity in order to not emit light. But LEDs, if it has electricity, it's emitting light. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But what can happen is if you're moving really fast, the LEDs can create like a subtle but definite strobing effect. Okay, yellow and pink. Here we go. Oh yeah, I'm going to do white. A little bit of build up on the white here too. Okay, and do a little pink on the outside edge. And then I'm going to do a little yellow where like the light fully catches. I feel like that kind of imitates a sunset on Earth, which this wouldn't be like that, but I like it. Let's do more white here, more purple. I like these long floppy wing things. They're probably my favorite part of this little weirdo. I like this pink as if there's like some sort of pink light behind them, and that is giving us this like outer glowing edge. You can mimic this with like lighting and photographs. The Wary Traveler venturing stream to stream. I hope you guys' days have a beneficial towards your moods. Thank you, the plug plagueful sin. I hope your day is beneficial to your mood as well. All right. Let's get some purpley variation in here. And then let's also get some this purple like actually drawn on there fully because some of it's still a little splotchy. Dang, this white, like, I want to like go hard on the white, but I don't know if it's really going to get full coverage anyway, because it's just the texture of the paper. But I find it frustrating that it's not super white. But that's okay. I didn't find it frustrating on the mouse alien, so I don't know what my problem is. I'm just going to cover up this weird little mistake I made with the black. And then I'm going to come in and do a little bit of shadow work with the black to make everything feel like it's in the right spot. Just like anything that's in front of something else will get a little shadow. Or behind, sorry. You don't shadow the things that are in front. You shadow the things that are behind. Anything that's behind something else will get a little shadow. And that'll help, like, my brain, your brain, see where everything is. Oh man. That I think that's like a lot of things say they're black and they're just like not. You're like, um I've seen that a lot in my work. Uh Gray too. Things will say they're neutral gray and they just won't be. They will be like a blue or sometimes a pink or something like that. And they'll be like, "We're gray." And you're like, you're not gray." So I apologize. I feel sorry. That sucks. Okay. What color? I think this is good. I like this guy. I think mostly the idea came through. Especially for coming up with him on the fly. We could maybe do like the ground a little bit better. Oh, oh no. Yeah, sometimes like what I've had to get better at is giving up on things. It's a really complicated idea, like a process though, because you don't want to give up on something that you are just giving up on because it's hard. But you also don't want to like pursue something that like you don't think will ever be good or that you don't like. So it's like a hard. I shouldn't have done blue here. Let's just kind of. There we go. Okay. So far we've done uh alien. Here, let's zoom out a little so you guys can see it in full. We've done alien mouse, and we've done alien penguin. 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 All right. So, did we write down another one, or am I? No, that was alien penguin. Okay. Let's see. An alien cat, I think, could work. What time? Okay, I have a little bit left. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We could do. Let's do this this way. Yeah, let's do a bit of a sloppy cleanup. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking like doing a different kind of theme. Like, what if it's Hmm. What if it's like a little asteroid? And we're seeing like the corner of it. And then on this little asteroid is like a little like shack. Like a place. Well, you know what a shack is. This might be too big. I think I want the shack to be like smaller, more in the distance. Or like, yeah, give the whole thing a little bit more of a sense of. Yeah, let's do like a I feel like a happy little cottage. Now, Bob Ross always do these like little log cabins. And I think about those all the time. I don't think I want to do a log cabin. Okay, let's what's like a we want it to be airtight. So what's like the futuristic version? What if it's like a who's the squirrel? Sandy the squirrel. Like she's an aquanaut. What if it's something like that? It's this tiny little piece of land, piece of habitable. Oh, it's loud outside. Um, we'll do that. We'll do that. Oh yeah, these would be barely a different size, even if we use perspective. These can be a little bit different. So I think now we can do a little like regular house because it's in the bubble. Give it a little porch. A little like, I don't know, off building, like a garage or like a workplace. Okay. And it's this little tiny piece of human habitat, or what we're assuming is human habitat. But it's just like we'll do a planet out here in the distance, like orbiting probably this planet that we're drawing. Probably the same. And we're seeing some. And then maybe we're actually orbiting another moon that's orbiting this planet. There we go. I like this idea. So we will see some stars. We can do those in color. We don't have to do those this way. All right. So the light is coming from behind us because we can see these planets and stuff are lit up. And if the sun was someplace else, we wouldn't be able to see these. So I think something like that. Let's give it some green grass. And use all the grass colors. Okay, for the house, we'll do regular. I'm just going to come in with the brown and sort of trace where I have marked okay. And then we'll use the other brown to give it more detail. And this is something that just kind of has to read as a house when you see it. So we might keep working on this. Maybe some black, some white. Because it's more important that it reads as a house than it is an accurate representation of a house. Because that's the story we're trying to tell. You know, I said this was one, like an off building, but let's make it a tree instead. Where's my other brown? Where's my other brown? This one. Ah, it's right here. This one. Okay. Around the tree will be a little patch of dirt. There's like maybe a bush. Okay. For the device type of thing that's keeping this in oxygen, I'm gonna, we started the outline with blue. I'm gonna throw some white on here, and then we'll come back and we'll add detail with some black and maybe some other colors. Let's also put like I don't know, like some machine that is helping with this whole thing. Okay. Okay. Not this black. Okay, let's go back to this blue. Yeah, I'm going to use this blue to try to like make this white more of a gray. I'm going to have to figure this out. Okay. I wish I had a gray because like just doing the white doesn't really... Let's bust open these. Is there a gray in here? Probably not. What is this? Black. That doesn't help. Yeah, we could do something like... no. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Let's... Okay. I'm going to try it with this peach. Okay, I think that works. And I think for space, we can do a lot of stuff. For this asteroid, I wasn't really satisfied with the last asteroid we did. And I know asteroids are like water mostly, like water and iron and nickel and stuff. So I don't know what color they would be. But I'm going to give this a base of yellow. And maybe I'm making a mistake, but let's give it a go. We got a lot of yellow there. Okay. So the light is coming from behind us. So if there's any texture, it's going to be like the light side of everything is going to be towards my left hand here. So like I'm not really making super conscious decisions here, but I am trying to move in a more organic way. And okay. Let's just do purple. I don't mean to sound so defeated. Ooh, nice. Man, wolves are cool to draw. I was watching videos about wolves so I could draw one like a couple of months ago maybe. And there was a tame wolf and they were like talking about how furry they were. They were like, you will not believe it is insane how fuzzy wolves are. It doesn't even make sense. They were saying like you could just put your whole hand into the wolf's fur and it would just disappear. And I was really happy I read that interview because I was like, I need to make sure when I draw my wolves, they look friggin' fuzzy. I said fuzzy, I mean furry. You know what I mean. Okay, I like the shape that this turned out to be. I like how I'm not super thrilled with the colors, but I don't know if there's any colors that I would be super thrilled with. So I'm okay with that. Well, what I could do now is do the whole asteroid in just another color, and that is sort of unify it and sort of bring it into a new color at the same time. Let's try it with this dark brown. I don't mean to sound unhappy about it. I'm happy to try it. I'm unhope. Oh my gosh. I lost colored pencil. These are valuable. I don't want to lose them. No, it's not sharpening. Oh, you know what? That's a sign that we shouldn't use this brown. Let's use instead. No, we did that. Yeah, let's use instead this violet that we just used to cover kind of everything. Basically, this should dull the yellow a while. Oh, I should have done it strategically because seeing where it's like hit really nice. Okay, now we'll come in and do some highlights. All right, I think this is good. I don't need to go crazy. we went to the overlook by us so you could see the whole valley. It's crazy. We moved to a valley. I lived on flatland most of my life. Maybe not now. I've lived a lot of places now. But I lived on flatland most. Oh my gosh. I made a rookie mistake. You see, like the asteroid disappears behind the house, behind the bubble. We're going to come in and we're going to give some asteroid back there. And we definitely want that all to look maybe even faded with like a different color. So because it's through the bubble. We can give the bubble just a quick, and then we can also do it with a little white. Now we really got to make sure that house looks like a house. Okay. For these moons, I'm going to do them pretty much white. We'll do a tiny touch of blue, a tiny touch of yellow. Yellow on the outside, blue on the inside. The planet, I think, is interesting. We can do the planet basically whatever color, so let's do it green. Oh, I've seen it's off the coast of the UK, the Isle of Dog. I've seen pictures. It's very hilly, very cliffy. I mean, like cliffs fall into the sea. Am I thinking of the right place? Okay. Okay, I think the planet I'll do green, and then the rings, I've colored them green here, but I think actually I'm going to do the rings green, and I'm going to do the planet a different color. Let's do the planet orange. But no, I've never been to the Isle of Dog, and I don't have a clear idea of what it is either. I just have like a vague. Okay. Again, let's have to remember where the sun is coming from, which is over here now. So we'll do some really bright greens as like catches where the sun is coming from. I'm going to sharpen. Actually, I'm going to use this one. They're the same color on black, I figured out. You know what's really interesting about rings on planets, such as like Saturn or whatever? The moons create like a sort of a resonance, a gravitational resonance, which is crazy. But what that means is like the rings will have certain shapes because they'll be affected by the gravity of the moon and other things, but the moons are really close, so they make a big effect. And so just like our moon traveling around us creates a bulge where the tides are, these moons traveling around this planet, which will be kind of traveling around like this, creates bulges and low spots where the rings are. Just like what other things do this? Like sound waves will do this. A lot of waves will do this, and it's just it's interesting that gravity will also do it. We still haven't seen the dang. I was just thinking we haven't found the gravity particle. We don't know how gravity actually works. I mean, we do. We know how it works. We can describe it. We can predict it in almost all cases. We know what gravity does. But we don't have like an explanation of how it's doing it in that also works for like quantum physics. That's an interesting. It's what Einstein spent the last part of his life working on. The unified theory of everything, or the unified theory of gravity. Okay. I like this house. I don't think it needs, let's give it some sun. And then let's give it, I don't want to use black. I'm going to use a pen. I'm gonna zoom you guys in because I'm gonna stick my face right in there to see what I'm doing. Okay, I just needed that to really be a house. I didn't want it to look like some sort of unknown blob. We can do the same to the planet, although I think the planet has come out fine in all this. Okay. Okay, I was thinking I would do a little nebula like here, and then just some stars, and then I'm gonna call it a day. I keep breaking my pencils. Oh, I have an idea. I have some pencil shavings. I wonder if I just... I'm gonna give it some tendrils that are a little bit more solid. Oops. Okay, we'll give it a little... Hang on. I guess a little orange, kind of. No, no. Oh, it is pink. Yeah, yeah, some orange. Oh, that was too much. All right, that was a little much. Let me see if I can erase any of it and see how that goes. Oh yeah, I think that's great. Okay. So now it's time for stars. I'm going to take any bright, bright color I have and do stars with it. I'll skip orange. I'll do these. Okay. I think the stars can be... Oh man, if I had some sticky glue, spray sticky glue, I would just sprinkle some pencil shavings like this. And then I would clear the spot where there couldn't be stars. And then I would do, all right, we also have to get white. Okay, why am I not getting sharp? I want to get something really sharp so I can do the stars very detailed. Ugh, I'm gonna have to clean up all these pencil shavings. Okay. I'm gonna do a couple right away through the sky of that, and I'm gonna do a couple right on the edge of the asteroid, because I just don't want to think about this area much after I do this, because I don't want to accidentally do it inside the asteroid, because I don't think you would see that. Obviously, you couldn't see that. There wouldn't be one there. Okay. And then these are both full moons, so we don't have to worry about accidentally putting one inside the crescent of the moon or anything where we wouldn't be able to see one. Okay. Like that. And then I'm going to just kind of either ones that I think could benefit, or I'm going to do new ones. I'm just going to add just a little pinks. I think with stars, I try not to think too much, because like let there be groupings and let there be different densities or whatever. Let there be two right next to each other. I think all of that happens pretty regularly with stars. So I don't. Okay. I know I had a random pink one by itself. Here we go. I'm going to add a little green to that. And then, whoop, I almost dropped my pencil. Some blue. I really like this blue. It really it stands out against the black. I feel like even the yellow doesn't do that as much. The white does a really good job, but okay. So that's a lot of stars. I don't think I did any in this bottom corner. I was just ignoring it. That's where my hand was, so I didn't see it. And then just to make sure I don't forget the edge, because I sometimes do that. All right, now I'm going to pick some stars that look big to me, and I'm going to give them a twinkle. And I'm just going to pull a couple of tiny lines, sometimes 4 and sometimes 6. Actually, I'm doing dots instead of lines on some of these now, because I think the lines are too much. I'm going to switch to yellow, do a couple in yellow. And actually yellow, I'm just going to kind of do like a bigger sort of rough dot around it. So it's not even like, it's a different kind of twinkle. It's like foggy almost. Okay. And let's do some green twinkles. I think I will go back to doing the lines. So the twinkles are usually from atmosphere. So technically, we probably wouldn't see any twinkles if we were standing on this asteroid. Or if, say, this picture was pictured from inside the house. We might, because there's like the window. All right. I think that's that. I'm pretty happy with that. Yes. I am just going to go over the things we did today, and then I'm going to call it a day. We did outer space scene. That was fun. We did alien penguin. Liked that a lot. And we did alien mouse. Also really good. Thank you so much, everybody who was here. Thank you if you subscribed. Awesome. If you liked it, thank you so much. And we'll see you. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I will see you Sunday. I'll probably do a makeup stream because I'm not going to stream tomorrow. All right. Thanks.